Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, we welcome you. I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. We are here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. You can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. And you can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. So we are here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, brought to you by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock. The water collects in a natural artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is Earth's finest water. And for all of our listeners and viewers who continue giving on the gift segment of our app at New Life Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly and monthly commitment to support the broadcast, we thank you for your commitment and your support as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted. And I want to take out a moment to say this to all of our listeners and viewers. Thank you for continuing to encourage your family, friends, coworkers, and colleagues to tune in to 3D, because we have received a significant growth in viewership, and we are delighted to welcome everyone. But it's because of you encouraging others to participate in the broadcast that we are here and able to fulfill the commitment of God. And so I'm going to begin by addressing a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers today, who indicated that your pace has been faster than you enjoy. You like everything to be in order, to be done in order. And you like it that way consistently. So that consistency is a good word, okay? However, there are so many things that you cannot seem to control. So let me first of all say this. Very simply, you only want to control the things that God has assigned for you to control. Often we try to control a lot of things in our lives, the things around us, people around us. We want to control how they interact with us, how they fulfill the things that we think need to be fulfilled. And sometimes it's good to provide instruction. However, you can only control the things that God has assigned you to control. So one of the things I'm going to say as we address this communication is that your pace is not faster than it needs to be. It's faster than you enjoy. And the reason is because you do like things done in order on a consistent basis. There are going to be moments and times when we have to pivot. There's going to be moments in time that we're going to have to adjust to what's going on around us. But having said that, if you stay on your consistent order of doing things, you're going to find that you will be able to maintain the pace, and you will begin to enjoy the pace. So I want to say this, this is really an excellent communication, because this will help all of our listeners and viewers. So one of the things that I recognize is that the more that you perform at a high level, the more God is going to assign for you to control or to be responsible for. You have been performing at a high level, consistently keeping things in order. And now, because things are moving a little faster than you might like them to move, you're struggling with that. And there are many people who struggle with that. But here's the key to making that adjustment. you have to recognize that it's because you've been performing at a high level for so long that God has given you more responsibility. See, what we don't recognize is that we don't get more until God gives us more. And God doesn't give us more than we can handle. So God is not going to give us more responsibility if we're not prepared to handle the responsibility. You have been, our listener and viewer has been performing at a high level for a very long period of time. And to God be the glory for that. We all need to perform at a high level. We all need to perform at a level that is pleasing unto God. And that means we don't want to be lazy, slothful. We don't want to be time wasters. We want to be focused on the appointment that God has placed upon our lives and the purpose that he desires for us to fulfill. So what God is doing now is giving you more responsibility. And that's why the pace is moving a little faster. It's okay. Make the adjustment. And what that means is you're now ready to go to the next level. And because you're ready to go to the next level, God is never going to, first of all, God is never going to set you up for failure. When you have a relationship with the Lord, he is never going to set you up for failure. We will set ourselves up for failure because we're out of relationship with the Lord. And so because we're not hearing from God, we have to make decisions based on our own wisdom, our own knowledge, and that's what really messes things up. So we have to make certain that we understand that our relationship with the Lord is going to lead us to the next level. And when we go to the next level in him, it's always going to be, you use the analogy of faster pace. I'm going to use the analogy that there's always going to be some additional pressure. There's always going to be some additional pressure because God is shaping you into being a bright, shining object. You know, you're getting this pressure like diamonds. And what's going to happen is that eventually you're going to be refined. You're going to be developed to perform at the next level. And one of the things that I want to encourage us all to do is to constantly seek the next level. Constantly work to achieve the next level. One of my favorite modern day stories is there was a man named T. Boone Pickens who was in the oil and gas business, who worked very diligently, was very successful, but he didn't become a billionaire until approximately age 70. And the reason is because he never stopped working to get to the next level. And every level that he went, he then performed at a higher level. Now that doesn't mean everything was perfect along the way, because when you're in the oil and gas business, you're exploring, you are drilling sometimes in dry holes, but you're a speculator. And so there's going to be ebbs and flows, but during the course of his life, he was able to be a major benefactor to his university and bless the lives of some young people along the way who were able to perform at a higher level. And I'm saying all of that to say is that it's not over till it's over. So we all want to make certain that every single day we're working to maximize, first of all, the potential that's within us, develop that potential, our gifts and talents, and then that we're prepared for every opportunity that comes our way. And when the opportunity comes, we have to say, okay, God, that implies, I praise you because that implies that you have decided that I have achieved at this level. And now it's time to go to the next level. We are living our lives to maximize, not just our success, but to maximize, first of all, to experience the fullness of God, and then to maximize the fullness of God in all of our lives. So we really have to understand that whenever things begin to move faster, it's time to readjust and be prepared to go to the next level. Now, I need to say this to all of our listeners and viewers, because I see this a lot. People often want to get ahead of God. And the reason is because they get bored where they are. And when I say they get bored, it means that they're not satisfied where they are right at the particular moment. There's a great apostle, Paul, who said, whatever state you're in, learn to be content. In other words, whatever level you're on right now, you have to be content to perform at the highest level at that level before you can go to the next level. And then you go to the next level and you have to work and perform at the highest level at that next level. And I'm saying all of that to say, people sometimes want to leave the level that they're on to go to the next level before God is ready for them to move. And the reason is because they get bored where they are. They're not satisfied where they are, but they're only giving 75% at the level they're on. They're not giving 100%. They're not working to maximize the level that they're on right now. They're comfortable doing what they do at this level, but now I want to move to the next level when I haven't maximized this one. So we've got to make certain that we're constantly working to get to the next level, but we have to make certain that we maximize the level that we're on first. Meaning, now you might say, well, Pastor, it's never going to be perfect. No, it doesn't have to be perfect, but your heart has to be right. Your heart has to be perfect. And here's what happens. When you know this is when you know that you've maximized your ability at this level. When you wake up every day and you can do the same thing that you're doing consistently, enjoy what you're doing consistently, and see the results of what you're doing consistently, then you know when you can achieve smarter goals, when you can look at your level that you're on and say, I've been specific, I've been able to measure my accomplishments, I've been able to attain what I set out to accomplish or what was placed before me. When you can look at it, the level you're on, and say, this is now my reality. It's not just my goal, but it's my reality. When you can look at it and say, I've done it I met my goals in the appropriate period of time. It's been, everything I've done was to achieve and maximize my success at this level. Then you're ready for the next level. But God will show you when you're ready for the next level, because things speed up. You know, and it's very interesting because I'm going to use one more analogy because this is real important. When you're playing sports, it's just the opposite. When you start out, because you're new at the sport, the game goes really fast. And then it begins to slow down for you. But really it's not the opposite, because even in business or in your profession or your career, it started out going fast at the level you're on now. It's now slowed down. But now God's taking you to the next level, so it's going to speed up. And we've got to recognize that it's just God moving in us. In Him we live and move and have our being. And it is God moving in us to move us to the next level. So just give Him praise and do what God has assigned for you to do next. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest nationwide 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you over into our queue where you can experience America's largest nationwide 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest nationwide 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that someone has requested that you mentor them in business. However, they are not 100% committed. So let me begin by saying this very simply. And then I'm going to explain to you why. You are not the right mentor for them. You're not the right fit. So you don't have, you don't want to be rude. They ask you to mentor them. I get it. But you're going to have to tell them that it wouldn't be a good fit for you to mentor them. They need to find someone who is going to be able to give them the time they need to work from being someone who gives 70% to someone who's going to work at 80%, someone then that they can teach to work at 90%, and hopefully get them to a place where they're willing to give 100% of the time. You see, there's a lot of people who waste talent. And if we're not giving 100% of the time, we're wasting some of the talent that God has placed in us. The problem that the mentee, the person who requested your mentorship, the problem they have is that they're all over the place. They give 70% to what they have, what's in front of them, what's required of them. And then they give 10% to one thing and 10% to something else and 10% to something else. You didn't tell me that, but God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life and their life, and that's how I know you're not the right fit for them. They're all over the place. They're only going to they're searching for something. They're searching for their purpose, but they don't realize that God has already revealed their purpose. They are, and the reason I can say this to you is because God has revealed their purpose to them. They have a relationship with the Lord. It's limited, but they have a relationship with the Lord. They love the Lord. And that's a beautiful thing. But if you're not fully committed to God, you're not going to be fully committed to anything. You're going to always be looking for something else that will fill that void in your life. And that's what's happening with them right now. They're giving 70% to their career, and then they've got these little side things that they're doing. They're giving 10% to that, 10% to something else, and 10% to something else. And here's what's really interesting about life and the universe in which we dwell. There are some things that you can give 10% to. Hobbies, for example. You can give 10% to that. You can and still get something done from time to time. But you'll never get everything done. You'll never be able to maximize the pleasure of that hobby because you're not willing to give 100% to that hobby. Now you might say, well, how do you give 100% to more than one thing? And what that looks like is it's the time that you set aside. If I'm a big time management person. If you give the right amount of time to something, over time, you will be able to master it. You'll be able to maximize. If you give it your all to that, but I'll give an example to that. If you are working out and let's say you're doing some weight training and let's say you're a runner like myself, let's say that you are working out specific numbers of week, a specific number of days per week, and you're running a specific number of days a week. But if you're working out and you're on your device and your handheld device, you're not really keeping your heart rate up, for example. You're still getting the workout done. I'm using analogies. You're still getting the workout done, but you're pausing to respond to text, you're pausing to look at what's happening on social media. You're really not getting your heart rate up. You'll get it up in intervals, but you're not maximizing. So you're giving that whatever percentage of your time that you dedicated to working out, that's what you're giving to your workout. The rest of it you're giving to social media. If you're a runner and you are you know, pausing at every major intersection to look at your device, you're really not maximizing your run. Because you're going to have to get your body back in rhythm. There's little things, the Bible says it's the little foxes that spoil the whole vine. It's the little things that we do that determine whether we're giving 100% to anything. So we want to make certain that we focus our attention on maximizing everything that we do. I know people will say it's not possible to give 100% to more than one thing, but the truth of the matter is it is possible to give 100% to whatever you allocate the time to do. So we all have the same amount of time in any given day. We all have the same amount of hours, minutes, and seconds of every single day. And if we're really trying to make certain that we stay in good health, we should be trying to get approximately 8 hours of sleep a night. That leaves us 16 hours to do all of the other things that we need to do. And if we break those out into segments of those 16 hours, we're going to find that we can give 100% to those items, to those things we've assigned to ourselves and that God has assigned to us. It's just about focusing our attention on whatever we're doing. But so often we get distracted, and that's exactly what's happening to the person who's asked you to mentor them. And you're saying, but I know they're not 100% committed. And the reason is because you've seen them in action. They're going to find excuses of why they can't make a meeting that you schedule. They're going to find excuses for why they don't complete the assignments that you assigned to them as a mentor. They're going to find excuses. Excuses are the tools of incompetent men and women to build monuments of nothing. They're not ready at this point in their life to give 100% to anything because they're all over the place, searching for their purpose, even though God has revealed their purpose. See, it's amazing when God reveals your purpose and you don't really want to do it because you feel that you should be doing something else. That really implies that we think that we know more than God. And I can promise you and everyone else on the planet Earth that none of us are wiser than God. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Terry, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you are in any of those areas, check for their store hours. Stop in at their retail stores. They have everything that a man could possibly need: shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Terry at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. If you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything that you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. If you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And I will say, stay posted because there are going to be some sales coming up next month from Charles Terry and from The White Company. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have been participating in Zoom happy hours every week and find yourself drinking more than you should, and the next day you're paying the price. However, you really want to be able to continue to socialize. So let me say this, because this is not the first time I've heard this from people. I've seen a theme of this during the pandemic. People are drinking a lot more. One of the things I found very interesting is that, I don't drink, so I really found it very interesting when they decided that it was important to keep liquor stores open. And then my wife and I were having a conversation about this, and she's someone who's been in healthcare all of her career. And so she made a comment to me and said, there's a lot of other components involved in people not being able to drink. And that's the reason that they kept it open. I'm giving you the shorter version of it. And the reason is because there were some health concerns about people not being able to drink. So I get it. After the explanation, I gave you the shorter version, but we had an in-depth conversation about it. And I get it that there are some challenges that go along with that. But that's not your issue. Your issue is that you're drinking to socialize. You don't have to drink to socialize. You don't even have, listen, even though there's Zoom happy hours, you could drink cranberry juice while you're sitting there with your friends. You can have, you can sit and eat finger food and drink San Pellegrino. This is an ad for San Pellegrino, but you can sit and drink, it's got fizz, so you could drink something that is refreshing and snack on your finger foods while you're doing that Zoom socializing. There are other things that you could be doing that don't require you to drink. And now what's happening is you've been doing it so frequently that you now recognize that you are indulging more than you should. And you are paying the price the next day, and it's called a hangover. Let me be clear on that. The price you're paying is you're tired, sluggish, lack of concentration, the little things that come along with the hangover. I don't drink, but when I was much younger, I would drink. So I know I've been out with people who the next day had hangovers. So it's anytime you have a hangover, it's because you drank too much. You indulged too much. And that's what's happened. So you find yourself sluggish, you don't want to go and you don't really want to work the next day, but I was going to say you don't want to go into the office, but when I say that, I don't mean literally go because you're working from home, but you don't really feel like being on meeting calls, you don't really feel like doing anything because you're dealing with a hangover. And you don't have to do that to socialize. You can sit on, if it's important to you to sit on the Zoom happy hours, you can sit on the Zoom happy hours and chat with your friends and drink something that's refreshing and eat some finger foods. You don't have to drink with them. If they're drinking alcohol, which they are, you all are, drinking alcohol, you don't have to do that. Nobody's going to be mad at you because they don't see you pouring vodka from a bottle. You're still socializing with your friends. You're just doing it in a way that it's not going to impact or disrupt the quality of your life. Because right now you're dealing with the hangover. You're not performing at a high level. And what do we say all the time? And that is, we want to perform at a high level in all that we do. We want to maximize our success, experience the fullness of God, and maximize the fullness of God in all of our lives. That's our daily goal. Stop the madness. You don't have to do it. And you will still be able to socialize with your friends and enjoy a better quality of life. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, 3D, is brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today.